guys? Welcome back to OSH offseason. I'm King Chubb and I'm here with my co-stars. What's up, guys? They set up here, and I'm gonna pass it on to the next guy. Fork Toaster here. Yeah, I'm the weatherman. How you know it's me talking? I have a very short vocabulary. Most of it is with weather. I'm expanding my vocabulary today, though, with wildfire, and we're gonna start off with the wildfire that is the LBs and the Pinks trade. Dan Woodface for Edward Shoe. That it's crazy. I mean, it's crazy. I think both sides are kind of had something wrong in their head. Shut up, sunny side up here. And I think that this is a great deal for both sides, because the LBs they wanted to get help Betty by getting him better receivers without trading too big of assets, and this is exactly what they did. And then the Pinks, well, their quarterback just retired, and they're gonna try to get a good rookie in the draft. You know, you'd think that means getting him better wide receivers, but you know what they say, defense wins championships. They're going to get him a good defense, have him ease into scoring a lot, and have the defense do a lot of work. And I think this is just a great deal for both sides. Well, King Chubb here, and in my opinion, I think that the Pinks are out of their mind because they don't even know what pick they have. I mean, every single. I mean, they could have the 6th pick, which means they wouldn't get any good quarterbacks because there's only 4 good quarterbacks. But the only person I don't think who is looking for a quarterback in this draft would be the Delphians, right there. Just because they have a good quarterback. The quarterback's not the problem. They need to get a better defense. But every other team could be looking for a quarterback. The Amphibians, they do got a pretty good starting guy, but he hasn't been doing very good lately. He's not as explosive. They might want to get a rookie out of the draft and kind of like and just improve him until his 3rd season, where maybe they start him in a few games. And the Sharks, their QB has just not been good. So obviously they would be looking. Icicles, their QB might never be the same because of he got injured. The Cars, their QB just hasn't been good. The Pinks, obviously we know their QB retired. And so the Delphians are the only one in the top 6, and the people who have the people who have a chance to get the 1st pick that wouldn't want to draft a QB. And if they get the 6th pick, that means they're not going to get a QB. They should have waited for the draft lottery on Wednesday. This would be a perfectly fine trade on Thursday, but not today. I think it's questionable today. LBs also, I get that you're going to improve your safety in the draft, but that was the closest thing you had to a good safety. Sure, he might have been a linebacker, and you already have Pro Bowl linebacker Matthew Orengo, but really, I think it's kind of questionable for both sides. I think they all should have waited until the lottery tomorrow. I think if this was Thursday, it would be a perfectly fine trade if the Pinks knew what pick they had and the LBs knew what pick they had. But just in today's circumstances, I really don't think that was a good trade. Forky, have anything to say? Well, you guys know that I usually try to think as the team. These are smart coaches. They're obviously smart coaches because they were hired to the OSH, and I like to think in their minds, like, why would they do this? For the LB's side, certainly the point has already been made that they're gonna both points that I was going to point up if I was the LB's coach have already been made. They want more wide receivers to help Betty, and also they're probably going to take a safety in the draft. So they're probably going to take a safety in the draft, and if he's good, they really don't need him anymore. And then if I'm on the pink side, I'm like, okay, I have the third best odds. I'm timed for the third best odds for the first pick. The last time someone was tied for the number one odds for the first pick, they got one. They got two, and then 4, 5, 6. So I'm thinking I have a higher than 50% chance to get over the 6th pick. And if the Delphins also get over the 6th pick, then that means they're going to get a QB, even if they get the 5th pick. If the Delphins aren't the 6th pick, they're going to get a QB. So it's a little chancy for both sides. They don't know if they're going to be able to get a good player of the position that they're hoping for. But even though it's a little questionable on both sides, I think it's still a good trade. Okay, so we forgot to do this episode. Do you think this is a lose trade for both sides, a win trade for both sides, a lose trade for the LBs, win trade for the LBs, lose trade for the Pinks, win trade for the Pinks? I think this is definitely, I think for right now, this is a lose trade for both of them. After the draft, it could be changed to a win, but right now this is a lose for me. So sunny side up here, and I definitely agree that is a lose for both. I actually don't agree. I agree for one thing, loss for the Pinks, but I think it's a win for the LBs because they did pretty good last year. I mean, Edward was injured for a little bit of last year, and they were still doing pretty good. But I see how it could be questionable for other people, but it's really not for me. Forky. Well, I think I like King Shub's analogy. It's a lose, but after the draft, it could be a win. And yeah, I think it goes up. So this wildfire of emotions coming through me for this pick, I'm gonna say lose for both teams, just because they really don't know what they're gonna get in the draft. I mean, we don't even know if all 4 QBs can play on an elite level like the OSH. We've seen them in college; they played pretty well in college, but can they? And will they be able to? Can they and will they be able to be good in the OSH? So that's a point that really hasn't been made. We don't even know if they're going to be as elite as everyone's saying they're going to be. And then there's really no elite safeties in the draft. I do think they can get a pretty decent safety and train him to be better, but I'm going to say lose for both sides just because of that storm of things that could go wrong over them right now. You know, the sun might come out and everything might go right for them, but if that happens, it will be a win, but I don't think it is right now. And that's all we got. We'll see you next time on OSH Off. This post-editing Shub here. Sorry there was no intro on this video. It didn't work out, but make sure to leave a dislike if you didn't like it. Leave a like if you did like it. And I'm going to let this outro bang.